On the docket tonight, a case out of Tennessee that we have been tracking for some time here on closing arguments. And it's got a fact pattern that might sound very familiar to you. Okay? There's a young mother, not married, right? Single mom, it's fine. Has a young daughter. And the young daughter kind of goes missing. But the mom never reports the daughter missing. Huh. Instead, it's one of the grandparents that actually makes the call to police to report this child missing. And then the child's remains are ultimately found very close to the home where the mother was living and where the grandparents were living. I mean, extremely familiar fact pattern. This one is out of Tennessee. The defendant's name is Megan Boswell. Take a listen to the rest of the story.
Evelyn. Hi.
15-month-old baby Evelyn Boswell, a beautiful blue-eyed toddler from Tennessee, being raised by her teen mom Megan, goes missing with an Amber Alert issued on February 19th, 2020.
We remain committed and continue to do everything possible to find out what happened to Evelyn. And as always, as soon as relevant information and accurate information, I want to really reiterate that. As it comes to us, we will get that out as soon as possible, okay? Anyone with relevant information concerning Evelyn's whereabouts are asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
But that Amber Alert was not issued on the day she went missing. Baby Evelyn actually disappeared in late 2019. And her mom said she didn't report her missing because she knew the person who had her and did not want them to take off with her.
I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm gonna go find her myself. Just bring her back. I just want her back, that's all I want. I've been so long without her, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you report it missing earlier? Because my mom threatened me, and I just want her back. That's all I can think about is how much I just want her back.
But investigators were not buying Megan Boswell's stories.
Aware that we've received a number of conflicting, inaccurate statements from the mother, Megan Boswell, Evelyn's mother.
What happens next is a strange string of events. First, Evelyn's grandmother, Angela, is arrested with her boyfriend in North Carolina for possession of a stolen vehicle, which was part of the Amber Alert. Then Evelyn's mom is arrested in Tennessee for making false statements.
We determined that some of the statements Megan Boswell provided to us were false. Many of the false statements that Megan made delayed our investigations and also impeded our investigations on trying to find Evelyn. As a result, she has been charged with false reporting.
Any questions about that? Ms. Boswell, any questions about that?
Then big breaking news. 2 weeks after Evelyn was reported missing, a toddler's remains are found.
This evening, we received the information that led TBI agents and Sullivan County detectives to a property belonging to a family member of Evelyn's mother in the 500 block of Muddy Creek Road in Blumpville. During the search, investigators discovered human remains believed to be those of a 15-month-old girl. The remains will be sent for an autopsy and a positive identification.
So now the question is, what happened to baby Evelyn and who is responsible?
Unbelievable. I mean, and there's more, right? You know, lies about where the child is, says, I know who has the child. The only thing she didn't do was say that Zanny the nanny had Evelyn. Let's bring in our special guest joining us from Tulsa, Oklahoma tonight, former Nashville police officer in Tennessee and anchor and reporter for our great affiliate KJRH, Vincent Hill, back with us. Vincent, great to see you.
Vinny, always a pleasure.
You know, the case that this parallels so much resulted in a not guilty verdict, right? And
Yep.
you know, there's the passage of time. Do you think that there may be a different result here if, in fact, there are better forensics in this case? Because in the case down in Orange County, Florida, involving little Kaylee Marie, it took way too long, and that body was exposed to the elements, flooding, animals, bugs, everything. I'm not sure because we haven't heard the information, but I think there's a chance perhaps that there'll be better forensic evidence here.
Well, Vinny, this is definitely 2008 all over again, right? The only difference is the names of the mother and the name of the child. But here's where the problem lies when this goes to trial. We don't know exactly when she went missing. There's reports that it could have been December 26th. There's reports it could have been December 10th. She wasn't found until 2 weeks after she was reported missing, which was in February of 2020. So there's a lot of time that went by, and we don't know if the weather was a factor, where she was essentially laid to rest. We don't know a lot of things that could have deteriorated some type of DNA or some type of evidence in this case.
Now, the other part of all this, much like in that other case, the role of the grandparents here. You know, as this investigation was going on, people were somewhat suspicious of other members of the family. In that trial down there, the defense literally pointed the finger at Kaylee Marie's grandfather, George Anthony. I mean, they pointed the finger at him. They called him a rapist. They called him this. They called him that.
Right.
And completely diverted the attention of that jury. I think that may happen in this case as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also have to question, too, if she was found on a family member's property, who's that family member? What's their relationship with Megan? What's the relationship with the toddler? Who is this person? How do you not know that there's a 15-month-old somewhere on your property that was dumped there? So you're going to question that, and a good defense attorney is going to bring that up too, to say, hey, maybe this person had something to do with her death. And
the child goes missing, a little child goes missing, and you know, Vincent, when there's a little child in a family, everybody, you pick up the phone, it's the first thing you ask. Oh, how's the baby? That's what you do. That's what families do. Yet in this family,
right,
no one seemed to realize that baby Evelyn was missing and had been missing for not just 31 days, but more than 31 days.
Yeah, and listen, my kids are 25 and 20, and every time I talk to my mother, she still asks, how are my kids doing, right? So, yeah, that's something that a family is going to do. And also, when you're looking at an investigation like this, as an investigator, the first person that you look at in an abduction like this is the family. So I think investigators were probably key to what was going on a lot earlier than they revealed to the public, because you always look inside the home before you look outside the home, especially when you're talking about a toddler. She didn't get up and walk away. She wasn't on a school bus and abducted from there. She was inside that home when she went missing.
One of the other, Megan Boswell is a little bit younger than that other woman was at the time of her case and her trial. How do you think that whole issue plays into this? Because she's a younger teenage mother here. She strikes me as not being terribly sophisticated, yet at times I listen to her and it looks like she's very calm, cool, and collected as an inmate now. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's very bizarre, but I think as this moves forward, they're going to question, was she ready to be a mom? We always hear about teen moms not being ready to have children. So is that something that the defense is going to put into play here as this moves forward? She wasn't ready. She may have snapped, or she may have done something that, a young mother would do. So there's a lot of questions that surround that. But, at the same time, she's young, but at the same time, Vinny, I think she's very smart, because she had her stories laid out like clockwork. I mean, it was word for word. She didn't stumble. She didn't hesitate when she was telling these stories. So, yes, she may be young, but she's also very smart.
Yep, and she cried on cue. Vincent Hill from KRJH, great to have you on the program tonight. We'll see you soon.
Always a pleasure. All right, Vinny. Thank you.